let's remove the wheel first. 21 millimeter socket, remove all 5 of your lug nuts. And remove the wheel. With a 22 millimeter, break free the jam nut first. Now, with a 22 millimeter, let's remove this nut. Hammer on the knuckle right here. Be careful not to damage your boot, but this is going to break free the tie rod end from the knuckle. Remove this from the knuckle. Take this off, and you want to count the amount of turns that it takes to take this off. That way when we put it back on, you put it on the same amount of times, and it gets you close to having a good alignment. You still need a professional alignment after this, but this will get you close. Okay, so that's 14 turns for me. Of course, for you it might be different. The next thing I want to do is remove this jam nut right here. Now with some needle nose pliers, I'm going to sneak in here and remove this clamp that holds in the boot. And now we have to take off the clamp on the other end. In here, usually there's a steel single-use clamp for which you can take a pry bar and just kind of bonk it off of there. For me, I have a wire tie, so I'm just going to cut it. And of course, I'm going to put on a new one for when I reinstall the new boot. There we go. Now you can grab the boot, pull it off, and just remove it from the inner tie rod. Let's install the new boot. Slide it on all the way, and back here you want to make sure that this part of the boot slips on to this part of the steering rack. So line it up and then just give it a little push. It should pop right on. Make sure it's seated all the way around. So now I'm going to grab a wire tie and start it on here. If you have one of those metal single-use clamps, you can of course use that, but a wire tie is good as well, as long as you make it nice and tight. So let's tighten this up. A little trick to making these extra tight is you grab some pliers and you just twist. As you twist, it'll pull the wire tie through, and once it's tight enough, I'm going to come here and cut off the excess. I'm going to take a wire tie to attach this end as well. If you want to reuse your original clamp, that's totally fine, as long as it's still strong and has enough spring tension left in it. Mine felt a little bit weak, so that's why I'm replacing it with a wire tie. But of course, like I said, you can totally reuse your original one. I'm going to make sure it's nice and tight here, and just like we did for the other one, cut off the excess so it's not dangling everywhere. Let's reinstall the jam nut. Right there's good. Now reinstall the outer tie rod. I remember I had 14 turns. Again, yours might be different, so put it back however many turns it took to take it off. Right there's 14. Again, as I mentioned previously, you will still need an alignment, but this will get you close. I'm going to bring this jam nut close. Now you want to bring the outer tie rod stud, line it up with the knuckle, press it down, reinstall the nut, tighten it up, and then we'll torque it. 41 foot-pounds for this nut. Snug up the jam nut. Make sure it's nice and tight, and then I like to bring the tie rod back. That way right here it's sitting parallel with the knuckle, not at an angle. Reinstall the wheel. Start on all 5 of your lug nuts, bottom them out, and then torque them to 83 foot-pounds.